Alright everyone, we're ready to move on now to part 2 of step 3 here in our EdTech survey project, and we're ready to now put in our data. In part 1 here of step 3, we begin the construction of our spreadsheet here, and now we're ready to put in our data. So what I have up here is I do have my results from my Google Form survey. Now if you have yours on paper, you just go ahead and use that to tally from, but I'm going to tally from this. And what I need to do now is tally up my responses to each one of these. How many people voted for each one of these? Now, just keep in mind, my data is a little short here. I need a few more people yet, but I wanted to make this video so it's ready for you. So really, you should have, if you're doing a Google form, you should have at least 21 here total, because notice the top row is being used for column headers. So you should have 21 down here. Anyhow, when I count these up, I've already kind of counted them already so that I don't waste your time. I'm going to put in 8. I had 8 total respondents for 7:35 to 2:40. I had 6 for 8 to 3. And then I had 3 for 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And then I had 0 here in the 10 to 5, which was a little surprising. So I have my data in here now, and I'm ready to go. At this time, why don't you pause the video and go ahead and put in your data into your table so that we can move on to the next part. So pause it right now and go ahead and put that in. Alright, now we're ready to move on and do some graphing here. And what we're going to do is go ahead and highlight our table, if you remember from last time, and then hit our chart button over here. Now notice that I want to use pie graphs again with this. Now if you don't want to use a pie graph, if you'd rather use something else, you can. I'm going to use pie graphs for mine. But notice right now, pie graphs are not one of my choices. So what I have to do is sometimes I have to turn the switch rows and columns control so that I can get the data to graph properly here in Google spreadsheet. I'm going to go ahead and click on the pie graph now, and I can go over to my charts button, and I can actually make it 3D if I want to. Sometimes I like to do that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep mine this way this time, I think. And I'm going to go ahead and hit insert now so I can put it in here. And I'm going to go ahead and make this chart a little bit smaller, like so. And what I'm going to do now is give it a little different title. Now I don't have to title it this part here for this work, because the title is already on my spreadsheet. I just need to title what the graph is, and so, or what data it's representing rather. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this a second. I'm going to put results of all respondents, like so. Okay, just go ahead and type. Oops, I forgot to hit return. Let me try it again. Results of all respondents, like so. Okay, and I hit to enter when I'm ready. So there it goes. So it's that way. And I don't want to change my font too. I'd like to use that Comic Sans MS. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And you can format yours however you wish. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of move to the very top here. And so there's my data from the initial piece here. Now what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead and break down the data a little bit more, because remember we gathered some different data. We gathered data on boys and girls and how they voted. We also gathered what grades people were in. And I'm interested in looking at the data from the grade standpoint. I want to see how different folks in different grades voted here. So I want to break it down by 7th grade, by 7th grade and by 8th grade. So I'm going to go over here. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to basically copy this this table, and I'll show you why in just a second here. So I can go ahead and I can control click or right click on this and copy it. I'm going to go down a little ways here. I'm going to go ahead and hit paste for this. I'm going to use the title here, and I'm going to copy this as well. Control click, right click, and I'm just going to put it right above it. So I have a little titling here, and I can always change it a little bit later, and I'll show you what I do there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this my 7th grade data. Now, let me look at my notes here just to make sure I got this right. Yeah, it's there. 7th grade results. Oops, sorry, I'm kind of clicking around here a little bit. So 7th grade results. So I'm going to type in there. Now, I'm going to go back over, and I'm going to go to my data again. I'm going to just gather up the data from 7th grade only. So my 7th graders, 8 for 7:35 to 2:40. Is as follows. And the other thing I'm going to do here real quick is I'm going to go ahead, I could sort this by grade here. Actually, I won't do it right now because it might be a little confusing. Let's not get into that. Sorry, scratch that. I'm just going to go ahead and count them up. So 7th, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 folks in 7th grade voted for the 735 to 40. So I'm going to go in here and delete these. Actually, I should have got these out of here. Actually, leave that 0 because I know it's going to be 0. So 4 here. And then for 8 to 3, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it looks like. So I'm going to put the 5 in there. And you can do this along with me if you want while I'm watching me count this. And then the 9 to 4, we had 1, 2. Actually, this person voted for 2, but I'm just going to go with their first one. 2, 3, and the 9 to 4 slot. So there's 3 there. Okay, leave that one there. All right, so that's my 7th grade results. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and copy this now. All right, I'm going to highlight all of it. I'm going to copy it. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I don't want this to be quite as big as the other one, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. I know I'm a little nitpicky here, but kind of makes it set off that way. And then, like I said, I'm going to highlight the whole thing. Okay, control click or right click on here. Copy, and then a little bit farther down, I'll show you why I went farther down here in a second. I'm going to start at that cell, and I'm just going to hit paste. What's nice is that it copies all the formatting for me. I don't have to do any of that over again. But this time we're going to go 8th grade results. Alright, I'm going to go back over here and check I only have 5 8th graders, so 1, 2, 3, 4 of them said the 735 to 240. So I'll leave that as 4. I'll go ahead and delete these. And then 8 to 3, there was 1, and then 0 for the rest of them. So there we go, 0. Now at this point, guys, it's probably a good time to stop and pause it. Oh, maybe you paused it already, I don't know. But it's a good time to stop, pause it, and kind of catch up here. So go ahead and do that. Now, you don't have to do 7th grade results and 8th grade results if you don't want to. If you want to count them up by boy, what the boys voted for, so boy results and girl results, you could do that, okay? And do the same way I did, but instead of counting it by the grades, count it by what a boy voted for and what a girl voted for. So figure out what you want to do and count up your data. So go ahead and stop the video right now and figure that out. Now that we have our data graphed for the different smaller segments here, okay, we can go ahead and graph that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make or highlight all this. Remember, I can kind of click and drag these, or I can click on the first cell, hold down the shift key, click the last cell, and then I'm going to go ahead and graph that like I did the initial data. So I'm going to go up here, click on that, get my pie graph, okay, and I'm just going to go insert right now, move it over here. Maybe. There we go. Show. And now what I'm going to do, this is my 7th grade results, my 7th grade responses. So I'm going to put in 7th grade responses. Maybe I'll go, let's try it. Let's go 7th grade results, like so. Don't forget to hit return, and then I can also change the font there again, because again I don't like that font. And then I can go down here and just do the same thing. Highlight it, chart, click on this, switch columns and rows. And this one I only have 2 colors because I had 2 possible responses this time, even though I had, or two pieces of data here, even though I have 4 responses. Click insert, and again follow the same process here. Remember now, you got to move up. Be careful there when you're doing that. Notice I grabbed the wrong thing and started moving around. Now, if you ever make a mistake, just hit the undo button up here. When I click on it, I keep clicking the wrong thing. See how my data's moving over? So I'm going to go redo and put that over now. Let's try to get this to do what we want it to. I got too much selected behind it. That was the problem. There we go. Move this over. Kind of shrink this down a little bit. More manageable. Okay. And then this is going to be, of course, 8th grade results. Okay. And one more time, change this over. Okay. Now notice my data got cut off here a little bit, so I can kind of expand this, I believe. Maybe it won't let me do it. I can always change the font size, or if I stretch this out a little bit, notice how it shows up now, so give it a little bit more room to breathe there. Oops, I forgot I hit return on this. Let me try this one more time. Again, check your data over carefully. Check what you have over carefully. And when you get to the end of this, you got to hit enter. I keep forgetting to do that. Just click off. There it goes. Now it's in. All right. So I have my three tables now, or I mean three. Yeah, I have 3 tables here of data. And then I also have 3 graphs. One to go along with each table of data. And now what I can do is I have these ready to go when it comes to my infographic, and I want to be able to feature these in my infographic, so they're ready to go. All right. So this is what you should look like. All right, when you're finished. Again, you don't have to pick grades. You could go by boy and girl, but come up with a different way to kind of break it down. When you're finished, you need to turn this in to into the EdTech survey project, step 3, part 2 assignment that is in Edmodo. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions, and good luck.